The penthouse door swung open. Golden light spilled across marble floors. Lucas Hart, the young billionaire, stood frozen. He had come home early, unannounced. A strange man stood in his living room, an old security uniform on his back, a paring knife in his hand. Lucas's personal manager and his little daughter stood nearby, trembling. The man turned, voice low and cold. "Shut up. Don't say a word." Silence filled the room. Then a sharp click echoed. A recording device hidden in the man's wristwatch. His name was Ethan Cole, 39, single father, security guard at Hart Tower. He lived in a small basement apartment with his 9-year-old daughter, Mia, bright eyes, endless questions. Every morning, he walked her to the building's daycare before starting his shift. He wore the same faded uniform, the same worn boots, but wore them with pride. Lucas Hart, 33, was a cold opposite, a billionaire CEO of a massive investment firm. Distant, untouchable, barely known to his own staff. Ethan took his job seriously. He always told Mia, protecting people isn't just a duty, it's a promise. And he meant it. He helped everyone. The cleaning crew, maintenance workers, especially Anna, the house manager who took care of Lucas's penthouse. Anna was kind, hardworking, but lately nervous. One evening, she pulled Ethan aside in the security office. "Ethan, I think something's wrong. The cameras move when no one's there. I hear clicking in the walls." Ethan frowned, checked the logs. Nothing unusual. But Anna wasn't the type to imagine things. "I'll look into it quietly," he said. "Don't tell anyone yet." That night, he began digging, reviewing footage, checking access codes, looking for patterns. But rumors started spreading. Someone told Lucas that Anna and the poor security guard were having a secret relationship. Lucas didn't ask questions. He just doubted. Ethan had no idea. He was focused on something else, something dangerous. 3 days later, he found it, a signal coming from inside the penthouse, not from any official device. It was hidden, encrypted. Someone was spying on Lucas's private space. Ethan went up alone after midnight. Anna let him in, trembling. "Did you find something?" "Stay quiet," he said. "Just show me where you heard the clicking." She led him to the air purifier in the living room. Ethan knelt, opened the panel, and froze. There it was, a chip smaller than a coin. "Someone's been listening," he whispered. This was professional. Someone trusted. Someone close. He removed the chip carefully, sealed it in a bag. "I'll run tests." "Don't say anything, not yet." Anna nodded, pale. He stood, ready to report, when footsteps echoed in the hallway. Keys jingled. The front door opened. Lucas Hart stepped in. He froze. Ethan, standing in his living room. Anna nearby. His daughter Mia, clutching the counter, frightened. Ethan had been cutting an apple for her, the knife still in his hand. Everything looked wrong. He turned, heart pounding. He couldn't explain. The walls still had ears. Whoever planted the chip might still be listening. He looked at Anna. His voice was low, firm. "Shut up. Don't say a word." Lucas's face darkened. What the hell is going on? Ethan raised his hand calmly. "Sir, please, listen. You're in my home with my staff and my child. Holding a knife? It's not what you think." "I think it's exactly what I think." Anna tried to speak, shaking. "Mr. Hart, please." He found something. "Helping you? At midnight? In my private home?" Lucas snapped. "Sir," Ethan said firmly, "someone planted a listening device in your penthouse. I removed it tonight. I have proof." Lucas stared, then laughed bitterly. "How convenient. And you just happen to find it? You just happen to be here with my daughter?" "I brought her because the daycare was closed," Ethan said. "She fell asleep downstairs, woke up, followed me. I gave her an apple. That's all. That's all." Lucas's voice rose. "You expect me to believe that?" Ethan stayed calm. "I'm telling the truth." Lucas pulled out his phone. Security. 2 officers to the penthouse. "Now!" Anna grabbed his arm. "Please, you're making a mistake." "The mistake? Lucas said coldly, was trusting people I barely know. Ethan looked at Mia. She was crying. It's okay, sweetheart, he whispered. Go sit on the couch. She didn't move. Mia, now. She obeyed, trembling. 2 security officers arrived minutes later. They looked at Ethan, their own supervisor, confused. Sir, one asked. Detain him, Lucas ordered. Escort him out. Ethan placed the knife down gently. Check your filter, sir, he said quietly. They cuffed him. Anna sobbed. This is wrong. Lucas turned to her. You're dismissed. Leave tonight. You're firing me? I'm protecting my family. Ethan was led to the elevator. Whispers spread fast. Is that Chief Cole? I heard he was caught in the penthouse with a billionaire's kid. Ethan kept his head high, but his heart broke. Not for himself, but for Mia, who watched her father taken away like a criminal. As the elevator doors closed, he said softly, Sir, check your filters. Lucas said nothing. The next morning, the headlines hit. Billionaire's bodyguard detained in midnight incident. Trust broken at Hart Tower. Lucas read them, convinced he'd done the right thing, until one phrase haunted him. Check your filters. That evening, he received an email, no sender, no subject, just a video file. He clicked it. Grainy footage appeared. Someone entering his penthouse weeks ago, wearing a maintenance uniform. The man opened the air purifier, installed something small, and left. Lucas leaned closer. It was David Chun, his trusted assistant director, his friend. Another clip played. Ethan removing that same device, bagging it carefully. Then a final clip, Ethan speaking softly. I'm recording this for your safety, sir. Someone in your staff is leaking. Whoever you are, I'm coming for you. Lucas's blood ran cold. He had fired the wrong man. He had humiliated the only person protecting him. He called the detention center. Release Ethan Cole immediately. Sir, that takes time. Now? Then he called his IT chief. I want a full sweep of the penthouse. Every wire, every signal. Within an hour, the results came back. 12 hidden devices, all traced to one source, David Chun. Lucas felt sick, betrayed. He drove to the detention center himself. Ethan sat calmly on a bench when Lucas entered. You finally checked the filters, huh? Lucas's voice cracked. I'm sorry. Ethan nodded. Apologies don't protect people. Listening does. Lucas stepped inside the small room, the weight of guilt in his chest. I need you to tell me everything, Ethan, from the start. Ethan leaned forward. 3 weeks ago, Anna told me she heard clicking the walls, cameras moving on their own. I checked quietly. Whoever planted those bugs had access, high-level access. If I raise alarms, they'd erase everything before we could catch them. Lucas listened, silent now, really listening. I found the first chip in your air purifier, Ethan continued. Then one in your office lamp, another in your bedroom smoke detector. 12 total, all transmitting data to an offshore server. Who owns it? Lucas asked. Your assistant director, David Chun. Lucas's stomach turned. No, David's been with me 5 years. He's family. Family doesn't sell your secrets, Ethan said quietly. He leaked your mergers, your private meetings, everything, for money. Lucas ran his hands through his hair. And last night, I just removed the chip from your living room, Ethan said. Anna saw it. My daughter woke up and came upstairs. I was cutting her an apple when you walked in. The devices were still active in other rooms. If I'd said anything about what I found, David would have heard and wiped everything. That's why I told her to stay silent. Lucas sank into the metal chair. I destroyed your life. Ethan's eyes softened. Truth doesn't die. It just waits to be heard. Lucas stood, determination replacing guilt. Then we finished this. Together. Within hours, the building turned into an operation zone. Lucas's legal and IT teams worked side by side with federal agents. By midnight, they stormed David Chen's office. He was still there, confident, calm, until he saw the agents. What is this? He stammered. David Chun, An agent said, "You're under arrest for corporate espionage and illegal surveillance." Lucas stepped forward, holding a tablet. He pressed play. The footage of David planting the devices. David's mouth opened, but no sound came. "How much did they pay you?" Lucas asked. $2 million over 3 years, David muttered. Lucas's voice was quiet, steady. "I trusted you. My daughter called you Uncle David. It was just business, Lucas." Lucas shook his head. "I'd trade every dollar I own to get back the trust you sold." David was led away in handcuffs. Reporters swarmed the building. Cameras flashed. Lucas barely saw them. He turned to Ethan, standing quietly in the hall. "It's over," Ethan said. "No," Lucas replied. "Not until I make this right." The next morning, the press conference hall was packed. Lucas stepped up to the podium, Ethan beside him. "3 days ago," Lucas began, "I made a terrible mistake. I accused an innocent man of a crime he didn't commit. I humiliated him publicly. I fired him without listening." The crowd leaned in. Cameras clicked. "That man, Ethan Cole, risked everything to protect my family. He found 12 surveillance devices in my home. He traced them to someone I trusted. While I was doubting him, he was protecting me." Lucas turned to Ethan. "He told me to stay silent, and that silence saved my daughter's life." Applause filled the room. Reporters shouted questions. Lucas raised a hand. "Today, I'm reinstating Ethan Cole as Chief of Security for all Hart properties, with full authority to rebuild our security systems. His integrity will guide this company forward." He looked at Ethan. "I owe him more than I can ever repay." The applause grew louder. Ethan didn't smile or wave. He simply nodded. Afterward, in the quiet hall, Lucas turned to him. "Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave up on you." Ethan extended his hand. "Thank you for finally listening." They shook, not as boss and employee, but as equals. A week later, Lucas did something he'd never done. He went down to the basement level. Ethan was there, washing the patrol car with Mia beside him, giggling as she held a sponge. "You still work this hard?" Lucas asked. "Old habits," Ethan replied. Lucas watched them for a moment, father and daughter, simple and content. Then he crouched beside Mia. "Your dad says you're smart. What do you want to be when you grow up?" She thought, "Like Daddy, someone who protects people." Lucas smiled, pulled a small laminated card from his pocket. It read, "Future Chief of Security, Hart Tower," with a photo on it. Mia's eyes widened. "Is this real?" "It's real," Ethan said softly. She hugged Lucas tightly. He froze, then hugged her back. When she ran off, Lucas turned to Ethan. "That's too much," Ethan said quietly. "No," Lucas replied. "It's the least I can do." Lucas extended his hand again, bowing his head. "Thank you, Chief Cole." Ethan shook his hand. "Thank you for listening, Mr. Hart." "Call me Lucas." "I'll stick with Mr. Hart. Some boundaries are good." For the first time in months, Lucas laughed, a real laugh. A month later, Hart Tower held a ceremony in its lobby. A bronze plaque was unveiled. In honor of Ethan Cole, the man who heard danger before it spoke. Below it, a quote, "True security is not built on walls. It's built on trust." Reporters gathered again. One asked, "Chief Cole, what would you say to others who face false accusations?" Ethan paused. "Stay true to who you are. Don't let anger make you bitter. Don't let injustice make you cruel. Truth is patient. It will wait for you." Another turned to Lucas. "How has this changed you?" Lucas looked at Ethan, then at Mia in the crowd. "It taught me that wealth builds walls, but trust opens doors. I had everything, except humility, and I almost lost what mattered most because I stopped listening." The room erupted in applause, genuine this time. Ethan smiled faintly, shaking hands, humble as ever. A year later, the tower looked brighter. In the lobby hung a black and white photograph, Lucas and Ethan, side by side. The caption read, "The day's silence spoke." Visitors often stopped to read the story, how a guard risked everything, how a billionaire learned humility, how trust was rebuilt. One afternoon, a young journalist asked Lucas, "Do you still think about that night?" "Every day," he said. "Does it haunt you?" "No. It reminds me that silence isn't always guilt. Sometimes it's courage." Across the lobby, Ethan trained new recruits. Mia sat nearby doing homework. 10 years old now. Still bright, still kind. A trainee asked him, "Chief, how do you know who to trust?" Ethan glanced at Lucas, who nodded from across the room. "You trust people who stay the same in comfort and in crisis," he said. "Words are easy. Character is rare." Later that evening, Lucas visited Ethan's new office, bigger now, overlooking the city. He placed a small box on the desk. "What's this?" Ethan asked. "Open it." Inside was a simple, elegant watch. On the back, engraved words, "For the man who heard danger before it spoke. LH. Ethan smiled, slipping it on. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to." He looked out the window. "The quietest voices," Lucas said, "often speak the loudest truths." Ethan nodded. Mia appeared in the doorway. "Dad, are we rich now?" Both men laughed. Ethan knelt. "No, honey, we're safe." "That's better." She smiled, satisfied. Lucas watched them leave, father and daughter walking together, unhurried, unafraid. He turned back to the glass and saw his reflection. For the first time in years, he recognized a man staring back, not perfect, but wiser. Sometimes, shut up isn't anger. It's courage, choosing silence over chaos. Type respect if you believe silence can be louder than words. Subscribe if you believe truth always finds its way.